Ready.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Word of Mouth. We are absolutely thrilled to have on the podcast today one of my favorite graphic designers I've ever seen.
Ever.
So,
ever.
This is the first time I've heard that. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say.
Hey, well, if you think about it, you know, you're in the company of
thank you. Yeah.
of elites, you know, being on the Word of Mouth because we've had Josh Carnley and you know
Josh is awesome. Yeah,
Kyle Humphreys.
Kyle's awesome. Yeah,
and now you, Andrew Thomson.
Freaking, wow. I'm excited to be here.
A studio that works.
Yeah,
that's a great name.
Oh,
for
thanks.
For a studio, by the way.
Thanks.
Tell us about how you came across that.
I mean, well, should I even get into how I
could even you can go back as far as you want. I was just trying to give you a meatball for you to then hit out of the park on a who are you and what are you doing?
Yeah. Man, I guess the short answer to that is I felt like I just needed to launch. I felt like the time was right to not work for a company and try to make this happen. And I needed a name. You need an LLC. You need to file paperwork. You have to get a business permit. You need
all that stuff.
Bank account. So you need a name, you know. And I think I didn't want to overthink it and get too cute. I think if I was, there are some great kind of, lack of a better word, cute names out there.
Yeah.
And I felt like maybe I was at that time a little bit rushed. I was like, I just need to launch this thing. Mm-hmm. And so obviously my name's Andrew. So there's the A. I mean, that's a little bit, a little bit obvious.
A little bit cutie.
And it's cute. Yeah, I actually did everything that I was trying to avoid. But then I was thinking that it was kind of funny to basically have no name. So it's basically it's a studio.
Yeah.
But then if you just say a studio that works, or it's just a studio, or my business card at first just said hire a studio to work on your brand. And so it was the name, but it was also no name,
Yeah.
And I thought that was funny, and now I regret it because it's unsearchable on the internet. No, I'm kidding.
Bad for SEO.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Impossible.
Yeah, no, I do like it, but it's a little bit just vague on purpose, maybe.
Yeah, I love it. I really love seeing graphics that read themselves. So this was a really silly thing. Whenever I made Gracie's graduation party graphic, it was the two main words were Gracie party, but it said Gracie, and then in fine text it said graduated from nurse practitioner graduate school, so we are going to, and then party.
Nice, yeah. Because
I love whenever they read left to right, bottom to top, you can read a graphic through. So I really love a studio is a line that is a headline,
right?
But the fact that it reads too is just so refreshing to me. So
well, thanks. Yeah. The new thing is a studio for you, kind of like Nathan for you.
Oh yeah,
so, yeah.
Nathan for you is so good.
Yeah, he is good.
Great reference.
He is.
A studio.
Have you seen The Rehearsal? Any of that stuff?
Oh no, this is his longer. Remind me what this is.
That show, Nathan for You.
Yeah.
It was on Comedy Central, and he was basically a business consultant, but everything was bizarre.
Yeah.
And he's the driest delivery. And then just recently he had a show on HBO called The Rehearsal. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet. Crazy.
And he's a wedding planner or something, or what does he do?
He'll consult all kinds of businesses.
But it's just under a new name though.
You mean, what do you mean?
Like Nathan for You.
Oh, why is it called The Rehearsal?
Yeah, why is it called The Rehearsal?
Oh, okay. So that is a different concept. It's a similar idea as Nathan for You, and you almost have to watch it to understand, but he's basically helping people get past. Actually, so the first episode is a guy that plays trivia with his friends a lot.
Okay.
And someone in the group, I think, wasn't giving him enough credit at these trivia games. That of all the good answers he was coming up with. So it's a very random problem to solve.
Yeah.
And he was trying to build up the courage to confront them. And so Nathan for You builds. So the bar that they do the trivia, he builds a replica of the bar. Builds like rehearses the entire situation.
Yeah.
Has a stand-in for the friend. Does all these things, and then he's like, I wonder if he'll have more confidence if he gets a bunch of answers right that night.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know this guy would be mad if I gave him the answers because I know I could get them from the trivia guy. Mm-hmm. And so the day before the thing, he has randomly all the answers happen to the guy, like as they're walking.
Yeah.
Someone just jumps out of the bushes and is like, Napoleon won like 12, like all these like little facts. And then so he goes to the thing, he gets all the answers right, and then he like confronts the person. And I mean, it took me a long time to explain that, but
no, that's great.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not a business consultant thing. It's just,
it's
in
more
general,
like
a
life
social,
stuff.
yeah.
That's even better.
It gets
honestly.
weirder and weird. Like that's just the tip of the iceberg of how weird it gets. It's like very weird.
Yeah, you kinda
That's so
watch that.
funny.
Yeah.
Me and Gracie are always looking for shows, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so so you're a graphic designer. You're based in Birmingham, and you do really cool stuff. How did you get there? Let's go back. So where are you from?
Oh yeah. Okay. Mobile.
Mobile. Come
Yeah.
on.
Come on.
Mob
My
town.
wife is from
Okay.
Daphne.
Oh yeah. Across the bay.
Yeah.
Great spot.
Yeah.
Where are you like literally from Mobile?
Yes. I mean West Mobile. Yeah.
Come on. Where'd you go to high school at?
Cottage Hill Christian Academy.
Cottage Hill Christian
Nice.
Academy.
Yeah.
Wow. We might have talked about this before. My brother worked at Cottage Hill First Baptist.
Oh,
Literally
really?
where that school is, right?
Really? Yeah. Yeah.
He
That's
was like
crazy.
he was like audio visual guy. He went to University
Okay.
of Mobile,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
he interned
Small
there.
spot.
University of Mobile is like a private Christian school that's like super music focused. And he went there.
Yeah.
And then he went to he interned at Cottage Hill as an audio visual guy. And then he was like literally the media director there for like probably 4 years.
Okay. Wow.
And,
Okay.
So they bought a house over there in West Mobile. So that's like honestly the only part of Mobile I'm really familiar with.
Oh
Like
wow.
I've been to Fairhope before.
Yeah.
But I went to Cottage Hill area and like what is the big like main road? Is it called Cottage Hill Road? Like the huge
Cottage
main road
Hill
that-
Airport
is, like-
Boulevard.
I feel like
yeah.
I've been everywhere on Airport. We went to
Yeah.
the Dickie's barbecue pit on Airplane Boulevard in Mobile
Airplane.
like 50 times.
Yeah.
I vividly remember going. We went to Dickie's barbecue pit. Then went to the movies to go see Interstellar.
Oh yeah.
And
No way.
my
I remember
brother-
seeing that in the theater, and
in
it
the
was
same-
it was a cool moment.
Yeah. Like I
Yeah.
remember my brother was like, we have to go see it. He saw it like 2 days prior, and he's like, we have to go see it. I want to go see it again. It was the best movie I've ever seen. And I was like, this is going to be so stupid. This is a space movie.
Yeah.
Like, what in the world? This is probably just going to be a bad Star Wars. And then I literally like wept.
It was so good. I remember I didn't get hyped up too much for it, which I think was
Yeah.
good. Like no one told me it was the best movie or anything. And Joseph Walsky, do you know him?
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine. I went with
Okay.
him and some people, and it was like I just didn't have like I just knew like some space stuff maybe.
Sure.
And then, but yeah, it was like, and the music's so good, and it just like pulls you in. And Matthew McConaughey's
Yeah.
crying. You're like,
Yeah.
what's going on? You know?
Yeah, dude, when he watches those like videos from his
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
and then he like meets his daughter again. Golly,
Crazy.
ripped my heart to shreds, Matthew. Golly, not his first time doing that, and definitely probably not
Won't
his
be the
last.
last. Won't be the last. He's coming out with a book on poems.
I saw him reading a poem.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
been doing the podcast tour again to like,
Pleams?
promote it.
Oh wow, I'm definitely gonna check that one out.
Yeah, I listened
I
to
have
him on something.
a lot of people hate on me for this, but I freaking loved his last book.
It was fantastic. It was
Oh
so
yeah,
good.
a lot of people talk about
I think
like
about it
green light
regularly.
or
Green
something.
lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think about it very regularly.
I think about his his story when he brings his son out and he like couldn't afford, or his dad. Wait, I can't remember. Yeah, it was his dad couldn't afford to get him a dirt bike, but he like bet that Matthew could pee over like a wall or something like that.
Yeah.
What?
And then he like gets Matthew. He drives 2 hours home from this barn that he's like hanging out with his buddies. He wakes Matthew up in the middle of the night, and then he gets him like a huge like two XL Dr. Peppers or something like that. And then he drives him all the way out. And Matthew's like 6 or 7 years old whenever this happens, so he can't really control his bladder. And then so he gets him like a ton of liquids, and then he like makes him hold it, and then he gets there and he finally lets him pee, and Matthew literally pees like 8 feet in the air or something like that. And then literally he wins the dirt bike, that he peed over or something like
it was
that.
That's
like
chapter 1.
It was
Yeah, that
a
was
gentleman's bet between his dad and one of his dad's friends.
Yeah.
That his son could pee over a wall. Anyway.
Because he's like,
You're like, I never forgot that story.
Yeah, I think about
Yeah.
that story.
he was
like,
explaining
regularly.
he was explaining how his parents like loved him well, but like couldn't really
They found a way.
support him
Yeah,
in
they
the same
found a
way
way.
financially that a lot of people associate with support
Yeah.
these days. But anyways, I was like, but that, like you said, tip of the iceberg. When you read that book, it's just absurd how many stories they have.
That's cool.
His time like studying abroad in Australia is absolutely ridiculous too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
crazy.
Because he was in Dazed and Confused and then kind of went off, right? He
Yeah.
went off into the wilderness a little bit.
I can't remember. I think he did. I think he went to Australia before then. But yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't remember the order.
yeah. He was like, yeah, I'm studying abroad in Sydney. And then he got to Sydney, and they drove like 7 hours away into the country,
Yeah.
and that's where he studied.
So what was growing up in Mobile like?
Yeah, I mean, West Mobile, I don't know. Like, I do think Mobile's a little bit isolated, a little bit. Like when I moved to Birmingham, I could tell like there's people like from Nashville, there's people from Atlanta. It's a close drive to
Yeah.
a lot of like a little bit bigger cities, or just
Yeah.
I just feel a little more connected to like the
world.
what's going on a little
Yeah.
bit. And I do think Mobile felt a little bit like it's a pretty long drive to New Orleans. It has some New Orleans flavor to it, but
Yeah.
it's more Southern for sure.
Yeah.
A little less like Cajun and like less of a bigger city feel, a little bit like a small city kind of feel.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I do think like I love the water, I love the Gulf Coast, I love kind of that maybe some of the mindset that people have down
Yeah.
there, but I do think it was a little bit, I don't know if the word's boring or something, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Boring's probably a good
Yeah.
I think it's
a good
fair.
word. I think that Mobile has the potential to be the coolest city in Alabama. Like its ceiling
beautiful.
is the highest because it's a port town. It looks freaking cool.
It does.
Then you just like drive around downtown and you're like, why is there nothing going on in here?
Yes.
It's got the coolest looking building in Alabama, in my opinion. Like the battleship.
Yeah.
The building in downtown.
Yes.
It's the tallest building in Alabama.
You mean the Battle House?
The Battle
Hotel?
House, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The streets are cooler than
Yeah.
Birmingham's downtown grid for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like places to go, things to do, like
Yeah.
it's just a little bit,
Lackluster.
Yeah.
a little less. It feels like there's a little bit, and I don't want to, I love Mobile. Actually, it does have a place in my heart.
Yeah.
But I do feel like Birmingham has a little bit more of an entrepreneurial vibe and
Sure.
energy.
I think so.
And like you think about how many, even just like random, like a Taco Mama or something. That's
Yeah.
just like it started here, like not that many years ago. Like
Yeah.
how many like chains have their headquarters here? How many?
Yeah.
Bus-
Jack's, Milo's.
yeah, just something. There's a little bit more energy, and I feel like people embrace startups here.
Definitely.
And I feel like in Mobile, sometimes the original concept restaurants would struggle sometimes,
Yeah.
and like the chain would
But then
crush.
Dickie's barbecue pit is all we freaking talk about.
Sometimes
Yeah.
the chain would kill. Yeah. And so it's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to overly, characterize, but
Do you have siblings?
yes, one older sister.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and she's an interior designer.
Oh, no way.
So, we both went to Auburn. She's, was 3 grades ahead of me at Auburn and was already kind of doing that. She actually, so part of my story of how I got into design, I just basically, I thought playing music was cool when I was in high school.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. I mean, there was no career there.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I just didn't have any other interests,
Yeah, yeah.
And then, I went to Auburn just because it made sense. It's in state, just a lot of things lined up. And then I was trying to pick a major, and I really had nothing was like it wasn't like, oh, I always knew I wanted to do,
Sure.
design or something. And I thought I was going to do engineering, and then my sister was like, I think you'd be a terrible engineer. I was like, well, maybe you're right. You don't have to say it like that. So I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then I didn't want to do graphic design because I kind of thought it was like a waste of a major to me. I was like, that's like something that anyone can just do with a laptop.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I just didn't know that much about it.
Yeah,
you know? And I'm actually 41. I don't know if you guys know. I'm like, this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
So
That's kind of awesome. We've had 2 40-year-olds
Yeah,
in
we
a
have.
row.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait, y'all would have never like gone to school together because he went to Bama. I didn't know if you and
Alabama.
Wesley like knew each other at all. The guy
Oh,
that was-
are we the same age?
Wesley's
Yeah, he's 40.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, we just love hanging with cool 40-year-old dudes, I guess.
Yeah.
I joke.
You would never freaking know that about either of y'all.
Yeah, sometimes I get frustrated about not being further along in life
Oh, my
and
gosh.
whatever I want to be doing. And Claire always reminds me, like, who are the people you admire? And I was like, well, most everyone that I really genuinely admire is like probably 50.
Yeah,
Because
right,
they've
right.
like found their groove and been doing that thing for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I
that
do
was the
think it
picture.
takes, I like, you know how some people say like, if you invest a little bit of money in your 20s, then it compound interest and turns
Yeah.
into like millions by the time you're, that kind of talk, of like
Yeah.
compounding interest and stuff. I do think there's something true about like exploring different, like trying different professions, trying different skills, trying out
Yeah.
different things when you're in your 20s
Yeah.
will compound into
Yeah.
like life direction in a really positive way.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I think like I learned like screen printing really early on, and I feel like it's affected my career in a compounding way, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
So
totally.
I think like not in a money way, but just in like,
Yeah.
skills.
yeah, like invest in yourself is what I mean when
Yeah.
you're younger.
Yeah.
And then you never know, how it'll turn into something. Yeah.
Sure.
That's pretty cool. So, did you and your sister are both design focused careers? Like,
Yeah.
was y'all's, are your parents into design, or like how?
No, yeah.
How
not-
was that just a coincidence? Like, how did that happen?
I don't know. Like even when we were growing up, I feel like we would like make stuff or like
Yeah.
play. I think maybe because we weren't allowed to watch that much TV, and we definitely
Yeah.
weren't allowed to play video games, and there wasn't the internet, so it's just like what are you?
Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah, maybe I think there was something to that. Yeah,
Just imagination type
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
Mobile. Yeah.
So what did you major in?
Okay. Yeah. So then, so my sister was like, "You should look at industrial design."
Okay, yeah.
And so, so I did industrial design, and immediately I was loving it. I was like, "This is
What is that industrial?
yeah." So it's not in the School of Engineering. It's when we were in school, like the most famous industrial designer was the guy from Apple. I don't know. My mind just went blank.
Steve Jobs.
Jonathan Ives.
Okay.
Jonathan
Yeah.
Ives. Yeah.
I don't think I know who that is.
He's the guy that kind of designed like the first iPod, and when Apple really started like doing like the white
Oh,
plastic.
they love like Braun. That
Yeah,
guy like was
yeah.
obsessed with Braun.
Well, so I brought books, so I guess
Let's
we'll get
go.
into it.
Come on.
So this guy, Dieter Rams,
Okay.
is
As
like
little design as possible.
he's kind of one of the most famous industrial designers. So this is not like a deep cut at all. This is
Sure.
like maybe
This is the Frank Lloyd Wright.
yeah, this is the
industrial
guy.
design.
Everybody knows this guy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you don't know industrial design, you don't know this guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was a German industrial designer kind of in the 80s, and he did all the bronze
stuff, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
So and it's all just very like clean and modern
Yeah.
and stuff. I don't how does
I
this
love
work
this.
with my mic?
Yeah, I was going to say I can hold it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a
honestly.
slideshow.
Let's go. Yeah, they did like, I'm trying to think of the most notable Braun. They're the ones who kind of, from my understanding, they invented kind of like the modern day calculator. Like they
Yeah,
were
the look that Apple used.
Yeah. Like everything that, and
Just
then
tell me when to stop.
the
Yeah.
iPhone is kind of modeled after like I think it was like a cassette tape, right? Or the iPod is what I mean.
Yes. One of the things about the calculator is everything is monotone, and I think just the equal button is the only color on the whole thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this thing is like not to use ornamentation, but to use design to like
Help.
make something easy to understand.
I've
Yeah.
almost bought these clocks before.
Yeah.
These Braun clocks.
I have a Braun alarm clock.
Yeah, they're
on my
beautiful.
bedside table, yeah.
Yeah, there's something about like geometry and proportions that it's all you need.
It makes sense with your design too, like because your design is incredibly easy to read and helpful, and I think that other graphic designers
man.
are like artistic, but maybe less helpful at times. So it makes sense that you derive influence
Steven.
from this person.
Oh, thanks, man.
Oh, is it Silver Faces? Yeah.
There's
for me.
that. So, did you watch any of that show, the Severance show?
No, but I've heard about it though.
Yeah.
In the most recent season, they have his I think record player that's like super long on the
Yes.
wall, and it's like very.
Yeah.
What's funny about modern stuff is a lot of bad guys in movies have like the coolest modern stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Like,
Yeah.
why does that mean? You know.
Dude, this is so sick. I was gonna say Andrew Neyer is an industrial designer.
Yeah, that makes I should have thought about that. That's
Oh,
super true.
who is that?
He's our friend.
Gosh, dude,
in-
Andrew, you probably have seen this guy's stuff before. You're gonna
You
be
probably have.
obsessed with
He does mostly like lighting fixtures and things like
Oh,
that.
sick. Okay.
He's based out of like outside of Cincinnati.
Okay.
And we've had a bunch of friends who've gone up there to work for him.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was a muralist and like just a painter, like whatever that's called, like a traditional artist. And then he kind of saw like a gap that there's like these worlds where I'm taking words from him. We would love to have him on the podcast one day to explain this perfectly. But essentially he found this like gap in art where, if you go and you're like build a building, there's like things that are necessary and therefore have a necessary budget line and a necessary budget fluid or like flexibility, whereas there's things like art that aren't that are like to an artist necessary for a building, but to
The
a
necessities that you're talking about would be like lighting
wall,
fixtures,
a
fans,
window.
You have to have
a
them.
fan, electricity. And so he was like, there's availability here in the market to practice art and artistry in areas that are you can kind of practice necessity as well. So the same sort of thing. It's like less ornamentation, more utility, and then trying to figure out how to bring artistry into utility as well. And anyways, and he can explain that for himself, and I'm just kind of trying to explain it so people can understand. But anyways, he
There's like the yellow
there's the
equal
calculator.
button.
Yeah. But yeah, he does a ton of lighting fixtures. So he's
I
the
love
one who,
that.
if you've ever
What's
seen
the name of his company?
Stuff by Andrew Nair.
Okay.
Or not,
Yeah.
sorry. But yeah, he is
Yeah.
he did the crane light. If you've ever seen like the wooden pole with like, I don't know if you'll see it. We'll show photos of it or whatever on the podcast.
Crane
and
light.
Also,
And also, I'll just throw up a bunch of like bronze stuff. I know we're showing pictures
Yeah, that's
in the
great.
photo, but it's easier to just.
But
throw
even
it.
like that phrase,
Yeah.
like something about as little design as possible. There's something about his philosophy was to like what you're saying is like use design to make it beautiful. But I guess it's like it is beautiful to boil something down to its essence is beautiful.
There's a quote that
Wow,
I can't
yeah.
remember. I think it's Einstein, and he talks about something to do with like it seems from the outside like complexity equals like brilliance or something, but in reality, like simplicity is like the harder thing to achieve.
Definitely,
and also
yeah.
like the more admirable pursuit. And I think it's similar. Like Steve Jobs is definitely in that vein.
Totally.
Of, like, add lightness, like add simplicity, add like less. Basically.
Like the genius of the wheel, that's back in
Yeah.
the day when there wasn't touch screens.
Yeah.
But
The
that
iPod.
iPod wheel is so simple and
Yeah.
easy to use, but it's like it's hard to come up with stuff
Yeah.
like that.
The designer of Lotus cars, I can't remember what his name was, but his
Lote.
It wasn't that.
Okay.
But good guess. His mantra was something similar that was like add lightness or something. Anyway,
I feel like that it is
simplicity.
interesting, like whenever you really consider the Apple wheel, like the scroll wheel, and then also even in a more. I remember whenever iPhone came out, I do remember thinking my uncle and aunt got one. They were like early adopters to like the full touch screen. And before the iPhone, one thing that some people that listen to this podcast won't even be able to comprehend, touchscreens sucked. It was very bad. Every time I had ever worked with a touchscreen, you would touch on one part of the screen and another part of the screen. Like think like a Delta, like not a new plane, but an old plane Delta, like seat back, like you would touch on one part of the screen, you have to touch it like 4 times in order for the movie to like pop up. And I remember whenever they went to a touchscreen only keyboard, I was like, that is going to be so annoying to use. And then I used one, and I was like, "Oh frick!" Like this is kind of, and it had like the
Yeah.
the haptics to it too. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is like I remember the first time having an iPhone and using the scroll wheel, it was like limiting because you couldn't do like you couldn't do like whatever you want. I guess like if you have like an arrow or something like that, or a mouse, like you can do things like faster. But it was also, it just kind of invited me to consider the fact that, or when you think about it, it invites you to consider the fact that every tech is limited in some way.
Yeah.
But what is it for, and how can you make it limited in the most beautiful way is like an incredible journey to go down if you're an artist. But if you're not an artist, people are like, shut up, dude. Like, just freaking do it. And it's like, I think that there's like beautiful things, and people just don't even think about it at all because they're like, just make it happen. But people like, Dieter Rams has, he did all these things. And like we have so much beauty in the world is to blame for it. Like microwaves, ovens, record players, vehicles, like so much of his design influence with the age of technology is to like he's to blame for like why it's easy to use stuff like that.
There's another book, I can't remember who wrote it, but I think it's called Super Objects or something like that, and or Super Normal. It's called Super Normal.
Okay.
I think it was written by, I'm trying to think. Anyway, but it's like a collection of, it's two well-known industrial designers put this together, but it's a collection of like historically well-known products that are basically like cannot be improved upon. So some of them are like the paperclip, you know, something just like basic. So it wasn't like stuff that they designed, but just
I think
like
I've seen that at Little Professor before. Do they have?
They might, and there might be like a version of it, But I do love that of like something that has kind of it's like it's the perfect iteration of what it needs to do, you know, which is
Golly, do you have any personal favorite, or do you, in your own opinion, as an industrial design major?
Yeah, wow.
Do you have a favorite like object or something that you like you could go in a soapbox about?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I didn't know that this existed till this moment, or else I would have studied this in college. I'm not gonna
Jasper
lie.
Morrison is the guy. So I went to see his studio.
He's heck yeah.
He's so I use this. What are those things called? Yeah, I've been using the mocha pot a lot, and like I love it. I don't know. There's something very
freaking idea.
Yeah,
it is like science at its very core.
Yeah,
it's almost like caveman-esque. The mocha pot.
Yeah,
you put dirt in the bottom, or you put coffee powder in the bottom, water, and it makes coffee for you.
Like one of my favorite like coffee table books is I think it's called How to Live with Objects or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I think that one's cool too. Just talking about this whole industrial design and object thing.
Right.
I was like obsessed growing up with. Sorry, I'm kind of doing a lot of personal like deep story work right now because I'm like I wish that I would have known that this was like something you could study, because I was just like, I'm going to study entrepreneurship.
I loved it. Yeah.
Because I like thought that that's what this was.
Yeah.
But like whenever I was in high school, I like really was obsessed with not like stadiums, but like with like because of architectural design and like but stadiums because it was like a cool. There was a lot of opportunity for efficiency and inefficiency with stadiums, and then also football helmets and cleats. Yeah, I thought were fascinating because I was a freaking sports guy, and that was the only area I knew, the only medium I knew to like critique. I guess. But anyways, I think this is like really cool. Like
it's funny. Yeah, it's funny how the nuances of the tools you use every day.
Yeah.
That you could like write a book about.
You know
what I mean? And how much it would mean something to you for it to improve. Yeah,
like one of Andrew's things that he said that this is the only other industrial designer I know, so I'm probably going to reference him a lot today. But the Andrew loves DeWalt because apparently one thing that DeWalt does is there's other companies who have less of a market share than DeWalt does, because DeWalt's like DeWalt and the Milwaukee, and I can't remember what the blue one is, but anyways, they're like the most popular ones, and what DeWalt will do is they'll kind of let the more like I don't know, Husqvarna or like Cobalt or one of the other tool brands that is trying to get more of a Ryobi, like they're kind of more budget brands. They'll let them come out with all these things first, and they'll figure out what's wrong with it, and then DeWalt, because they can kind of just focus on, they're going to be okay. They're going to be around forever. They'll kind of perfect it after everyone else makes mistakes. And then
That's
they'll
cool.
kind of make it.
Yeah.
So like the whole like electric lawnmower thing is like the perfect example of this.
Okay.
Because the electric lawnmower, everybody else was like, oh, let's add all these like bells and whistles. And then DeWalt was like, well, you kind of realize that the battery is the only thing that matters in an electric mower or electric weed eater. So we can break it down to its bare minimum. And like the engine like of my electric mower is like the size of an iPhone. It gets very small because it's just like churning. It's like a fan, it's a fan trying to cool a battery that's just like sending, circulations, whatever. So I think it's like really cool considering when people do like minimize things down to an object. And I can get on a soapbox big time about objects that are done really well or done really poorly. So that's why I'm curious and trying to set you like, do you have
What's
any
my
objects,
favorite? Oh man,
or do you have any that just like stick out?
One thing that I think is interesting, objects wise, like I'm fascinated. I was just with some friends in Nashville. We went to an old like vintage guitar store, and it is crazy to me how the electric guitar, like people still want like the 60s version, you know?
Yeah.
And it's interesting how like, I don't know, like why was that so, like it still sounds so good. It still looks great. It's still, there are certain things. It's like if someone came out with this as 2025 and it was all like crazy, everybody would be like, nah, we don't want, what I mean?
Sure.
It is funny. We interviewed a guy, you might know him, John Schultz. Here in town, True Vintage Guitar.
Yeah, that guy.
Have you ever been to his studio?
I just vaguely kind of know his story a little bit, but he's like deep in that world,
Super
right?
deep.
Incredibly deep.
So cool. But one of the things I thought about after that was all those guitar designs were, like you're saying, made in like the 50s and 60s.
Right.
And like Fender still makes like the
Exactly. People get
Jazzmaster,
mad
the
if there's a
Stratocaster.
tiny change because they're just like, it was perfect.
Yeah, and I was trying to think about like, I don't know if, I mean, I'm not very deep in guitar world. I used to be, but I don't know of any like staple designs of guitars that are like super popular that were made anytime recently.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the Flying V, like the 80s like hairband guitar. That was designed because it was like Fender was really popular. Or no, who made it was Gibson made the Les Paul.
Gibson made the Flying V, I think.
Okay. Then Fender made the Les Paul, and then Gibson Fender made it in 57, 58, 59, and then in the early 60s Gibson was trying, or whatever the other one was, Scally, I can't remember. They were trying to get like popularity. They were trying to just do anything to get attention, to get more attention back. And then literally they invented the Flying V, or they designed the Flying V guitar in the early 60s. And then it didn't get popular till the 80s. And now it's like there's a bunch of people who want like OG 60s versions of it. But it's crazy to me how even that's like a modern, the 80s guitar was still invented or like designed originally in the 60s.
That surprised me. I think it was 50s or 60s.
But he literally has gotten the chance. You should go listen to the episode if you haven't yet. But he has been able to sell. They're called bursts, like the because
the Les Paul Standard.
The Les Paul Standard, that was like 57, 58, 59. They sell for like 6 figures minimum for these like guitars.
Crazy, yeah.
But it's because they're not made out of plywood. They're made out of like raw oak.
Okay, wow.
And the necks are wider, and so there's more wood, and then also the freaking frets are made out of nickel and not like brass or something like that. So every quality of it was literally just better.
See that. If we're going to talk about design,
take us there.
It does. I think one of the things that drives me or energizes me to do either graphic design or anything is how much like when I see something old that was so much better, it kind of like makes me sad. There's something that's just like for me to try to fight against that or to like make things today that are as good a quality as they were like during our grandparents' time is like definitely a motivator.
Yeah.
I brought one book of like, let's see here. There you go. The New York storefront. Do you have this one?
No, dude, we literally have them. We have a
We have a
segment.
segment we do
We have a
called
segment.
On storefronts?
It's called New York Storefront.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
On the, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's
this is why I love
yeah.
signage. It's because of
Bro.
stuff like this.
That's freaking go, man.
And it's like, who's opening a place
That place
today?
is like famous right there.
Yeah, this is super famous. This is like right there near like Soho. I mean, it's, but like,
It's like a
but just
pastrami melt.
just the attention to detail on the lettering, the neon. It's like, what is opening today that's this good?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like the book is like filled with stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like even stuff like this is like
Uh-huh.
crazy and not like well designed, but it was hand painted, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and so there's a human touch to stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's at least intentional, you know? So I don't
That's
know.
so cool. Yeah. Dang, dude, this is, man. Okay, so I got, we can do the segment with you.
New York
Oh,
City
yeah.
storefront.
New York storefront.
Let me see if I can get this right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here we go. I always accidentally do the Miley Cyrus one.
I don't know.
All right, here we go. Today's segment, come on, of New York City storefront. Andrew, if you had a storefront in New York City, what would the building look like? What would be inside? And what would the design look like inside too?
The bill. I do want to sell. One, because of my industrial design past. So
Okay.
I did, I cut that story off a little bit, but I graduated industrial design. I practiced industrial design in Birmingham at a firm here
No
for
way.
a while.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
It was like a small firm called Push Product Design.
Cool.
And then I was there like 5 years.
Huh.
And then some of the projects I wasn't that excited about. I like some of them for sure. Some of them would be just like 2 years on one product or
Wow.
something. And I was just like a little restless maybe.
Yeah.
And then started doing like posters for friends, started screen printing on the side.
Okay.
And I felt like graphic design was a way to work on something creatively and then see the result a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Like a quicker turnaround of like idea execution, see what people think about it too.
Yeah.
Because like if you sit on anything for a long time and you never get that feedback, you don't even know if
Yeah.
what you're doing is, you can't learn or progress, you know?
Totally. Sure.
So anyway, I need to answer the storefront question. But I think one thing that I'm jealous of is, you know, that company called George and Willie that makes all the
Yes.
coffee shop stuff.
Yeah.
And it can feel a little, in some sense, it can feel like cookie cutter a little bit when you
Sure.
just see them all over the place. They're exactly the same and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But I am a little bit jealous of like selling a product. I would love to, if I had a storefront, I would love to sell a product. And
Yeah.
maybe one would be like a light box
Yeah.
kind of sign or something, or like versions of that are a little bit more unique, a little bit more
Yeah.
nuanced and kind of, but I would love to sell products of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool. So you would sell products in there. What would it look like?
I guess you walk in and the walls are just covered with all these crazy signs, and maybe it's like you have your little price tag almost like laid out like a little museum on the wall or something that. I would like a small store. I don't like big stores. I like a one. I see that you have the only
in Y.
Yeah, like that kind of size.
Yeah.
You just walk
You've been
in.
there before?
Yeah,
In New York?
yeah, over in
Lower East Side.
Lower East Side. Yeah.
Do you know New York well enough to say like where you would want the store to be?
I mean, that street would be great.
Dude,
Yeah.
Across the street from them.
Only in Y.
Yeah,
Man.
be their little best friends right there.
Yeah.
You can make it in New York, man. I'm obsessed with George and Willie's office. I don't know if you've ever seen photos of their office
No,
space.
I'm not.
I have a, I think me and Myers talk about this a lot on the podcast, but I mean, Myers works for my dad, and my dad, we got him to kind of start thinking about this because he got a new office like 2 years ago. But yeah, George and Willie's like,
Cool.
yeah,
Are they Australian?
they're from New Zealand.
New Zealand. Okay.
But I think I like love their workspace because they're like, I don't know, like right there where that office is. So you can kind of see there's a basketball hoop like right outside to the left.
Yeah.
So they just have like a garage door in the front of their office. You can walk outside, and they have this like, I really like when people do like meaningless things, like really well. So they have like a basketball holder right inside the door.
I like that.
And they're like not like basketball dudes. Like they're not like good at, I don't know, maybe they are good at basketball. They're not like sporty people though. But it's just like something to do like right outside the office. Yeah. And I feel like when you're in, like you need like whether it's basketball or not, you need like a basketball break option when you do design stuff like that. Like I think it's so freaking cool that they just have like a little basketball holder. You can walk right outside, shoot hoops, and then go back in and just like kind of do whatever you need to do. But I also think that your office that you work out of is like exceptional. Like it's really beautiful.
Cool. That's Chambliss King Architects.
Okay, cool.
That designed the space, and
where's that at? Your office?
Right near June on 2nd Avenue.
Okay, cool.
You can almost you can walk out our door and almost see like Last Call from there. So it's kind of like on that side of 2nd Avenue. It's just one of those little slots along there.
So is it just you in there? Or are you in there with a bunch of people?
Yeah, Chambliss King Architects, that's their main office.
Okay, and you just like have a little
And I have like a little, tiny. And Hannah Ray makes fun that it's like Harry Potter under the stairs. But I have like my little spot,
That's funny. Shout out Hannah Ray.
Yeah, shout out Hannah Ray. Yeah.
Legend.
That's funny that y'all...
check.
I've learned more about Gardendale,
Oh, man. Shout out Gardendale. Yeah. You can learn all about it. It's like a bottomless hole that definitely has a bottom that's pretty shallow. But Hannah Ray and I went to high school together, and Andrew's engaged to her. She's a legend.
Yeah. Anyway, this was... I sent you guys this link, but when I left the industrial design firm and then got a job at like a graphic design place, I was like very grateful. I didn't think... I was like, it wasn't my major. I was like, who's going to pay me to do this?
Sure.
I felt like a hack, And I worked at this place called Slaughter Group. I don't know if you heard of that guy.
No.
He was somebody that I wanted to work for because I thought he was like an older guy that had done all this stuff. He'd done like Alice Beach and all these places.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like a lot of
Birmingham guy? Or what?
Yeah, Birmingham guy. Kind of a legend. Kind of like people joke like he's the godfather of like a lot of people left his firm and started other firms and stuff.
Cool.
But anyway, when I was there on the side, me and some friends, me and a friend, Jared Fulton, we had we were trying, as far as like what product would I sell? This, and George and Will, this was like our thing. We had like a furniture company that didn't, cool. It didn't really go anywhere, but we would make a bunch of stuff and like go to fairs and like try to like sell our stuff, and all this kind of. So,
is this Plenty Design Co-op? Is that what?
Yeah, I don't know. The co-op is a weird add-on.
I mean, the stuff's beautiful.
Like thanks, man.
I kind of have I do a little bit of carpentry for fun, and
there you go.
Your stuff's like, it's not just like good. It's also like really intricately done too. Like the stuff that y'all were doing.
Oh, thanks.
It was very very cute, if I could use that word from you.
It's very cute, yeah.
Like
Jared did the stools. Like I would do stuff that's a little bit more like maybe easier to like mass produce. Like I work with someone to like make this mold and stuff.
Yeah.
So trying to like the idea of like mass producing something. Yeah. But anyway.
The desk lamp I thought was beautiful. And
that's Jared.
I think it's really interesting how easy it is to essentially include electricity throughout woodworking, and I've never done it. I haven't done it yet, but anyways, that's what I'm thinking about. Or I've been thinking about doing more. But I love that. But the way that you bound together the post at the bottom of that lamp, we will show said lamp on the the editing on this episode is going to be pretty thick, but
intensive.
The binding on the bottom
to glue it,
is so. Cute.
I don't want to take credit because that is Jared, but we were like friends doing it together. But
it's literally like a little like it's Cracker Barrel toy.
Yeah, no, like it is. I know. It's awesome.
It's cool though.
This was like the guys that we love. So one of our inspirations for even doing that was let's see here, Ronan and Erwin, these like French brothers that have this furniture company, and they would be like hired out by like I'm trying to think like Noel or somebody to like design something new for them. Let me see here. They've got some chairs you might recognize maybe. Like I remember when this came out with like the bent It's like,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
the bent metal, and then and I feel like that you can see like cheaper knockoffs of it
Sure,
now. But
sure.
when it first came out, and there's like images of the production, of the bending the metal,
Sure.
stuff like
That's
that.
so
I just
cool.
love. Isn't that like the life?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is, man. Like, I love
Just
that.
powder coating stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Some people are gonna be like, "What the heck are you talking about?" But yes, dude, I totally.
Yes, I dream of making chairs. Yeah.
It's like when it comes out of the powder coat, it's just like candy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you and I have ever talked about this, but I'm a big Donald Judd fan. And,
Oh yeah, dude.
and
Yes.
people make fun of him because he kind of takes
so
things back
simple, maybe?
so far back to its bare minimum.
Yeah.
But,
No, it's awesome.
he's a designer that's originally from New York, and he bought a bunch of land in West Texas. He bought
Yeah.
an old military base in West Texas.
Yeah.
And but yeah, if anyone's ever seen the Prada store in the middle of the desert, that's like one of the things that he didn't do, but someone did underneath the Shinati, I think is how you pronounce it, Shinati Foundation, which is one of his families or art foundations. But anyways, that's kind of what he's like known for, is the Prada store, even though he didn't do it. But yeah, he does a lot of stuff, trying to break things down to its essence, like you're saying.
Yeah. In our office, you should come in and see.
I'd love to.
Just recently, they built a plywood just work table that's
Oh yeah,
like literally his dimensions.
inspired from.
No,
Oh yeah,
I think it's
His,
like literally-
his dimensions. Literally are.
I think they're
or like
public.
just publicly posted. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. One of my favorite things to share about him is it's funny how his design is so, it's like nothing. His design is literally like not design. It's just simple.
But I love that. Yeah.
But it's luxury. Like
Yeah,
people
I
only
know.
know about it and buy it in like luxury circles.
I know.
And if you go to Kim Kardashian's like studio office in Los Angeles for Skims,
Mm-hmm.
2 giant Judd tables are in the
Oh,
middle.
wow, okay.
Judd inspired tables. But she said in an
Cosplay.
interview one time, like, oh yeah, these are Judd tables. Donald Judd's son, Flavin, is his name. He was he's, I don't know if you've ever interacted with, I think his name
Flavin Flav.
is Doug Flavin. He's like a he was an industrial designer. He was also really popular in like the 80s. But anyways, so Donald Judd's son's named after him. But anyways, Flavin Judd sued her for claiming they were Judd tables. Do you know about this?
Oh, okay.
Because they weren't like Judd tables only come in like one size,
Okay.
or I guess like 2 sizes. But the her tables are like 15 seats long or something like
Okay.
that. So you could sit 45 people around this table, and she had 2 of them. But she said that they were Judd tables in like a very public interview.
Yeah, misrepresented
And
it. Yeah.
Yeah, Judd's son was like, "These are not like you're lying," and like sued her for false arrest, like kind of defamation in
Get
a way.
'em.
And
Crazy.
they literally, from my understanding, they won the lawsuit, and like they
Wow.
had to pay
Wow.
for or like for whatever, or maybe they demonetized the video or whatever it was. But yeah, she was using Judd's table in like a informative way, and she got a slap on the wrist for it. Kim Kardashian, bro.
Bruh.
Donald Judd sued Dead Donald Judd is
Dead Donald
Dead
Judd.
Donald
is suing present day like Marilyn Monroe.
What so when in this whole process do you jump off and do your own thing?
Oh,
yeah. Okay. So I was working at the Slaughter Group place, and I was just like happy to be there, no matter what project they put me on. And because I had done industrial design for like 5 years, and I was kind of just getting in, I felt like I was 5 years older than everyone that was at the same professional level as me. And but yeah, I was like loving it. They were doing really fun projects and stuff, and I learned a lot from him. And then I left after, I guess, 3 years or so, because I did feel like I needed to, like, I felt like I kind of learned their style and how they would approach a project, and I felt like I needed to maybe just keep learning and like see how other people, because that was like the only thing I knew at that time. It was like the only place I'd worked. And then so I went to Lewis Communications. It was like an advertising agency, so a lot of graphic design, but also ads, which are different. different than just like, because Slaughter Group was more branding focused. And so I did that for a while, and then I think and that's when I kind of got connected with Good People, is when I was at Lewis Communications. And that's what kind of like connected me with doing like packaging design and stuff like that. So I was there for like 5 years or so. Cool. And then it kind of felt like, I don't know. It's like you work so long somewhere underneath like the same art directors and all the constraints and everything. And then you get to a point where you feel like you just got to do something, you've kind of hit where it's not going to, I don't know. You have to, or at least me, I was just antsy. I was antsy to like do something on my own a little bit. And what's funny though, is I left that place, Lewis Communications, to work at an architecture firm for like a couple months, because my friend that was doing that furniture was there. Oh, cool. And I thought that we would be like a team, and we maybe like if they developed buildings, I would help with signage. And I would be able to do some of the industrial design stuff. And like do products, do graphics, and he would do like the building design, all that kind of stuff. And it was just a weird situation where as soon as I got hired, I just immediately felt like this is the wrong place. I don't know if you've ever felt like that. Yeah. And it was just like, it just hit me, and I just was like, I don't know. I don't know if their goals are the same as mine. I don't know if like, so it was just like a weird thing, but I think it was, looking back, I think it was like really important to have a job to help me leave that ad agency, or I might not have ever left it.
Sure.
And so then I was like, well, what am I going to do? I'm not going to go back there, and there's not another place I'd really want to work right now. And so it felt like I just got to do it. I got to step out. And then the crazy thing was I'd done all that work for Good People through Lewis, and it was right when Good People purchased Avondale Brewery. And so they talked to me and said, because I had left Lewis, I'd been gone for like 4 months, and I was thinking about going off on my own, and somebody from Good People was like, hey, by the way, we're about to buy Avondale. We loved working with you. If you want to work with us, we would love to work with you on this Avondale situation. Wow. And I was like, ooh, okay. So that kind of gave me a little encouragement, know. And so I quit. I did a little bit of work as a contract person at a firm called Tatum for 3 months. Okay. And then after that, never worked with another firm ever again. And
wow. What year was that when they bought?
It's like
2018,
I think.
Okay,
I think it was 2018.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Wow. And then it's crazy, just how like it started with just kind of slower, but still would have enough to just get by, and then just things like build and build and build, kind of. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Was it scary?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. A little bit.
I guess you knew your first like client though, so that was like you had some sort of like security in it.
A little bit. I had just like that enough, and it wasn't like a full-time job.
Sure.
Enough, but it was awesome to know that they wanted to work with me. Yeah. That was huge. The first can that I did under that was the Sour Patch one.
Oh, wow.
And I remember this. So they used to do, before COVID, you would have to go on site to approve the cans. So they would fly me to Tampa to where they make the cans, which is kind of crazy. It's like a ball canning plant where they have like these billets, and they stamp them out. Yeah. And they create all the cans, and then they screen print them on site.
Wow.
And you've already sent them the designs, everything's ready to go, but when you're on site, they do the first run, and you have to like sign your name on the colors to make sure the colors are
what you said.
Yeah, what you said. And so I just was there, and I'd done it before with the Good People ones, but this is the first time that I was there on something that was totally my own. There was no other boss or someone approving it or anything. In the back of my mind, I was like, what if nobody buys this can? I'm just like looking at them, just like, because you show your friends, you're like, what do you think? Be honest with me, like tell me if it sucks, and you like go through all the rounds of, the client likes it. You're like, I feel good. Even when the client likes it, you're never like satisfied. You're still like, well, but what would my design peers think? Are they gonna like judge me because I didn't do this right or do that right?
Yeah.
And then so you kind of show them, or you tweak it or get it, but still like there definitely was a feeling that day because it was just starting my new thing, and like they're about to print like thousands of these things and put them everywhere, and I'm just like, what if nobody buys it?
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, so do you do like part of that project? Did you do every one of the cans in the rebrand? Or like,
for Avondale,
I mean, did they have beers before they kind of were owned by good people? Like, I don't know very much about that merge. Like, what was that project like?
It was fun. Like they had, they started around when maybe like 2 years, I can't remember exactly the year, but way back in the craft beer, that was
Renaissance.
That was an era. I don't think we're in that era anymore. But like there was a time, where it was like the laws were changing. We were able to even have them in Alabama, and and it was just trendy in general. It was like with skinny jeans and the Nationals on the radio, and you're just throwing back an IPA with the guys.
Your IPA, your 45th like different iteration of an IPA.
Right.
That you're
right. Yeah. The Pine Sol, double scratchy, triple hazy, but anyway, what was I even saying? We're just making. I was enjoying making fun of it. Yeah.
The rebrand, like you.
Yes. Yeah. So Avondale Brewery was an early craft brewery like Good People.
Yeah.
So there was two that were kind of like the older ones.
Yeah.
And then it was a couple of years later that then there was like a Trim Tab, and then maybe a couple of years after that a Cahaba, and then it seemed at one point it felt like there was like 20 of them around.
Sure.
But so when they bought Avondale, people did know that brand, and it did have like an elephant already connected with it.
Yeah.
And some elements, but I basically moved the elephant away from the logo, could kind of just put it around on the side of the can.
Sure.
Just kind of like downplayed it, redrew the elephant. Tried to have more type-driven cans.
Yeah.
Kind of simplify them a little bit. Like the Sour Patches are pretty simple.
Yeah.
But I felt like at that point, a lot of craft beer was very complicated and trying too hard.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, let's just have some like, just some areas where it's just color on this can, and like we don't have to
Yeah.
So, but I feel like now a lot of people do that. So now I'm like, maybe I would go crazy again. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I feel like you go across the whole country, and I've had friends even say this, like I told you this one time, but like one of your beer cans that you did was the Muchacho, which is a Mexican lager.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like the most iconic, can out of all the Birmingham beers.
That's crazy.
And because the logo is so like, I don't know, it's just very eye catchy, like the aqua with the yellow. But anyways, my buddy Cameron had no idea that that was like a Birmingham brand. And but he's from Ohio, went to school in Virginia, lives in North Carolina, but had friends in Nashville and lived in Memphis, whatever. But anyways, we've talked this before, but when he was in Nashville, they like him and all his buddies like loved Muchacho.
Crazy.
And they like always, so Muchacho was this like special place in his heart or whatever.
That's crazy.
And whenever he told me that one time, we were somewhere in Birmingham. He was like, "Oh no way, they have Muchacho here?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's like a Birmingham beer." And he was like, "No way." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, like my buddy Andrew is the one who did the can."
That's cool. That's cool.
He was like, "No way." Because to him, that was like the coolest,
That's cool.
And so anyways, I feel like it's kind of cool that you got to do that. And I don't know, man. I've always, I'm super biased because I'm from here, but I always think that Birmingham is, and I guess, I don't know how to explain this, but in my journey, I guess observing this city, I always kind of felt like the people around, like this is before I knew you existed, that there was like, I just assumed that Avondale hired somebody out from Atlanta or New York to do it. But you were like here. And I think it's kind of cool how you were able to do like, I mean, kind of on trend, brewery can thing, because it was such a trendy thing.
Yeah.
Like you still were able to do it in a way in 2017, 2018, where you very well could have just put out another freaking, I don't know, I'm trying to think, like, what is the place in Fairhope, or like Sweetwater, or like, you could have done like the most boring,
Yeah.
whatever thing ever. And instead, you kind of made your own version. Because I think nowadays, like now that it's not trendy anymore,
Yeah.
that to do like a craft brewery type thing, there is like these iconic beers that are really popular right now, like PBRs or like Coors Light or whatever.
They have a history to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one day, on the other side of the trend, on the other side of that, like what are the beers that are going to be like iconic? And I feel like stuff that Monday Night Brewery is doing right now, where they like rebranded again, I guess to like, I think that they're just kind of missing the point that like craft breweries, like you're not going to become popular right now because that's just not what people want.
Yeah.
But give it 10 or 15 years, whenever like a new trend comes around, I feel like the longer you keep it untouched,
Yes.
it's like beautiful. So like, creating an untouchable design is like a really cool thing. Because like PBR, there's no shot anyone's ever touched PBR's logo.
Yes.
That's why it's so legendary.
Now it's like, yes, I love that. Yeah.
And I think it's really cool to to think that like Birmingham people are doing that. Like Milo's was like a brand that's like it's like a timeless brand, like Milo's sweet tea, and they aren't messing with it. Jack's is like a timeless brand that they aren't messing with. And these places that are from Birmingham, like the club, I feel like in general is like an iconic thing in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And they like haven't really changed it. Like but I didn't know that these places were designed by people in Birmingham. So it's kind of cool. The more and more I've peeled back the curtain, I find Andrew Thomson's in the world. So,
well, I do think there's something cool about, if you can weather the storm and make it through until the trend comes back again.
Yeah.
And you've at least like not gone under.
Yeah.
And then it comes back and then it's like, then you're like sitting on a gold mine kind of. But yeah, there's something about graphic design that is cool, how it's like you launch something trying to do something that is as timeless as you can. Like I still want things to feel fresh, I'm not trying to like over nostalgia it, but you just don't want it to be like, untrendy in just 1 year.
Sure.
You want to give it a little bit of a runway.
Yeah.
But then after the launch, after you do you try your best, you try to make it artistically interesting.
Yeah.
Then at some point it transitions, like you're saying, into just like an avatar for your memories. And it's not design anymore. It's just the sticker on top of all these experiences you've had with that thing. And so if those experiences are good, you start to love the little icon more and more and more and more because of what it means for the whole.
Yeah.
Like when Cracker Barrel changed their logo, it's
People
like,
were just like,
not that Cracker Barrel is like the greatest thing that ever happened, but like it messed with kind of like this treasure trove of like childhood memories a little bit. You know?
Yeah. It's like if Waffle House tried to change their logo, I would go ballistic. I'd be like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, But I think that it's to your point earlier about the signage thing with the New York City storefront. I don't understand like why people don't just like look at Waffle House and they're like, oh wait, like I could notice that from literally 600 miles away and be like, oh, that's a Waffle House right there. And why people instead are just like, let me just buy another George and Willie circle logo.
Yeah.
And just kind of put the font that everyone uses on there. Like no hate to freaking whoever does that. But I just feel like, it's like a light box with like a really, cool, fun color. Like, I don't know. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Or if you're gonna like just blend in, just don't do anything. Like there's a this like listening a vinyl listening lounge restaurant called 888 in Nashville.
Oh yeah.
And their website says follow the blinking red light.
Oh yeah.
When you go, they don't have a sign out front at all, but there's like a blinking red light because it's an homage to like an old record studio, a recording studio. Whenever outside the recording studio, whenever somebody was recording, they would have a blinking red light saying like, "Hey, shut up! Don't come in here." And but outside, there's just like on the entrance, you would never know that it was a place from the outside, but there's like a blinking red light above the door, and that's how you go in. And I'm like, if you're going to just blend in, do something like that. Like do the lack of anything at all. Yeah. And because clarity you can find clarity there too. But I don't know. I just feel like the thought behind it or the methodicalness of it, it just frustrates me. People don't put anything into it. They just are afraid. Yeah. So yes, more inspiration. Like
I love like just like little things like his vintagey. This is like a vintage donut shop in Mississippi.
Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
But like as far as like don't touch it, like it was good, or just that old stuff sometimes is better. It's just like
whoever made that. I'm curious.
Isn't that
who
incredible?
Made that face.
Yeah, it's incredible.
That's awesome.
Let's see here. This, as far as industrial design, or not industrial, graphic design, there's a guy that's a illustrator for the New Yorker.
Yeah.
Christopher Neiman. This is one of his books, but just like how like kind of a clever of a guy he is.
That's awesome. I love that you're bringing like physical books like this. I love that so much. I follow one of the doodleists for the New Yorker.
Okay.
Or for the New York Times as well. I say
he does them sometimes.
I deleted the Instagram account a year ago, but
nice.
When I had an Instagram account, I followed her, and I love her. She does illustrations for Family Bros.
Yes, Elizabeth something.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, she's good.
It's like same sort of vibe as this.
Yeah,
I think it's cool talking with all these different designers to think about where y'all pull inspiration from.
Yeah,
and I really love that y'all are, like, I'm thinking about Josh Carnley and Kyle Humphreys. You're all from Alabama, small town Alabama, and you're all proud of that.
Yeah,
and you take inspiration from your hometown. What did you go through some kind of like a phase of like, I hate this, get me out of this small town, or have you always had like a sense of appreciation for where you grew up?
Yeah, I do think maybe there was like a phase when I was more into the industrial design stuff where I thought just modern stuff was as cool as it got a little bit. And I didn't have the love for like stuff like this. Like I didn't really care about some of the nostalgia stuff. Yeah. And I liked things that were just clean and kind of timeless, And I think after doing graphic design for a while, just I like. Do you remember like on First Avenue North? I think that they've already maybe have taken the sign down, which is sad, but it's like pretty far west, or I think it's west of like 65 or something like that. But it was this barbecue restaurant called Rib It Up. Do you remember that sign?
Yes. Yeah.
That's I love that. It's like a molded plastic sign. Yeah. And I think the pig is like wearing like a suit or something. Yeah. It's like a little different than your typical.
I think it's still over there. It's over by.
Might still be there.
I think it's by Redemptive Cycles where they just launched their new.
And he's like dancing a little bit. Yeah. And he might have like a tux on or something. Yeah. And he just says "Rip it up." Yeah. And he's like, so but like now like that, I almost love that stuff more than even like the Dieter Ram stuff. Yeah. Because there's just something about like. Maybe the obscurity of like who drew that, nobody knows. Like, what were they thinking? Nobody will ever find them. But like there it is, and it's still there. But it's eye catching. Yeah, and like the story and the history of it. Yeah,
yeah. I kind of love that. I think it's interesting too. Whenever people like create something that forces some emotion onto you, whether you like it or not. I think,
right. Yeah,
and I kind of love.
It's not neutral. Yeah.
I went to the original, like there's I forget what it's called, but it's like it's called Full, like the original Full Moon isn't called Full Moon. It's called like Butsy's Barbecue or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But I ate there one time. It's over it's like an area of Birmingham I don't even know how to explain, but it's right beside Manufactured Good, the carpentry company.
Oh, okay,
Or maybe it's Lucy's or something like that. But it's this piece of crap.
I know the Lucy's you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was like, maybe it's not Full Moon, but it's like the original one of like some barbecue chain.
Okay.
And I remember like that place having some like the original Full Moon. I think it was the original Full Moon logo, and the moon is like super creepy. Yeah. But it makes you look at it and think, or what it makes you. And then obviously when you go in there and eat, it makes you associate that with it. And granted that whether that's a good idea or not to associate it with that blah blah blah, you can get into some theory, but regardless it like makes you think something, you know, and makes you associate something with it. And I think it's kind of cool, that little guy, the little Mississippi donut guy. I hope we can like share that on here. But the Mississippi donut guy, you look at it and it's like he has the emotion of like a grin and a mouthful. And like doing that is so genius for a sweet shop, like a donut shop. So I love when people create kind of like emotion within design like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to us about like what are you working on? What are you working on now at A Studio, or have you worked on at A Studio, or also you have a company called Such As?
Yeah.
Like what have you worked on? Like, talk to us about that. What do you like working on? What are some of your favorite projects, and then stuff you'd like to work on more in the future, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about Such As real quick. It was just me and Joseph kind of for fun, just doing something. Like it's kind of not super high aspirations, but like doing things that we would want to wear. And the thing that I love about it though is we did some pop-ups, which is funny too. I was a little bit slower that summer, and then like after we launched, then like the next year I was like, dude, I don't have time to work on this stuff anymore. But I think we started it 2 years ago, like 2023 maybe summer. And the thing that I love though was like if we would be at like the Kaha Bazaar or like an event with a ton of people and we have our tent up, is something that I don't get to experience in graphic design is like immediate reaction of people, so like if I work on something and then it is public, like I'm not like behind the trees like
waiting for people to see the new logo for Kala.
yeah what do they think, or like look at their faces or something. And so the idea of like someone coming up to the table and then just like they pick up this thing, but they don't pick up that, and then they look at this, they're like, it's just very honest. And no one is like, it's not like Instagram or something with like digital clicks and digital stuff. It's like a real person's expression, like some people shop longer, they don't buy anything, but that's probably what I would do. I'm not going to buy something immediately all the time anyway, so it's just, and then someone like, there's one person that'll come up and they'll like love just a specific thing. And then that to me is very rewarding. It's like, I don't get that on like, a lot of the bigger things is like just seeing someone buy that one thing in front of me, it's just kind of a cool experience. So, we just, if we come up with like a shirt or something that we like, or I would just like, man, I just want to, like we did this, Rick, it's just like, that's what it's for. It's just an outlet, and then you just put it out there, and then there's not like this year we have to sell this much stuff, or it's like a fun thing. So
that's cool. What about a studio that works? What are you working on there? What have you working on? So the thing I sent you guys some of those photos, but it is something that I'm pretty excited about, is that travel baseball park in Northport, Alabama. And basically like for it to be like a city funded project, and for them, they were such a cool client, and they were just like I think that one of the early, so it was Chambliss King that was doing the architecture where I shared the office with. And I had to pitch to the city like, well, they're doing the architecture, would you like to go through a naming and branding process? So we, named the park, had like strategy behind it and everything. And then we get pulled into their early renderings when everything's kind of like new, And so they're just like, did like a dugout or something. And so then I'm like, you know what? So they love baseball. I've worked on a park that was like multi-sport, but this was specifically baseball. And they love like the idea of like the history of it and everything. So I'm like, let's just go as crazy baseball as we possibly can. Let's put like a full mural on this one dugout in this rendering. And they're like, yes, we love it. Let's do it. And there's like 9 ball fields, and each ball field has 2 dugouts. So there's like 18 murals.
There's 18 crazy full color painted dugouts. And then I showed you guys some pictures of the other stuff. Like
I'll throw some up here.
I mean, we were just like, well, let's just cover this thing. Like, let's just go crazy with it. And sometimes I might be scared to like go too maximalist, But I think in some ways it is still like a modern park. It's not like it's well designed of a park, and we're basically just being consistent with the way we're
Yeah.
treating the surfaces. And I like the way that it is painted, so it will kind of fade over time it'll kind of patina in a nice way.
Sure.
So it's not like going to be chipping vinyl or something.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah.
should give it character over time and stuff. So, but that was really, to me, rewarding. Like you talk about being from Alabama and stuff, like to me, to do that in like a city north of Tuscaloosa, it's a pretty small city.
Yeah.
And to be able to like feel like I could go all out and that they would be receptive to it. That kind of stuff is like definitely what keeps me going.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so cool.
Yeah, that is so cool. And I mean, literally, I'm just thinking about patina. Like that's going to be there in 70 years.
Yeah.
Or however long. Like I think that, and I'm just contrasting it to like Gardendale. Shout out Hannah Ray.
The one that says park real big.
Yeah.
Like they just built
Nice
Bill
pickleball,
Noble.
though. Yeah.
Very nice pickleball. But it was like they did good design on the park.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like, I'll say good engineering. Like it has flow to it. It got everything done. But in terms of like art integration, they did literally nothing like you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
But that could have been so cool for them to do that and to think about, that park in Northport could be the same exact thing. It could, just be like if their colors are like blue and white, they could have done a white dugout and a blue dugout, and it would have been perfectly okay. But instead, they've chosen to kind of bring in actual touch to it, actual personality and life. I think that's really beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you get to do stuff like that. That's your second park, right?
Yes. Yeah. So the other one was that Sand Mountain Park in Albertville. And that was the first project I did with Chambliss King.
Yeah.
And they were receptive too, as far as wayfinding goes. There was, they wanted it to look a little bit, national parky-ish, like in a way. They didn't want it to be like too sporty, over the top sporty. They wanted it to feel kind of modern and stuff, which was fun, and to use wayfinding to also bring color and stuff like that. So
would you want to do, like, if you were to be given the option to do, maybe this answer is going to be freaking obvious, but if Rocky Mountain National Park came to you, or Oak Mountain State Park came to you, like, how much would you value being like, that local Alabama touch versus like, just like the size and the grandeur and like the legendariness of like a Rocky Mountain National Park type thing? How would you weigh those two?
Interesting.
Obviously Rocky Mountain's going to pay a lot more. So for the sake of this hypothetical, let's say they both pay the same.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I would enjoy both. Like, I guess, are you asking, would I appreciate the Oak Mountain more because I'm here kind of?
Sure. Yeah. Like how far do you love the localness of it? Like how much more life-giving is that?
Yeah. I think one thing I do think I don't know, like there's something about living here that sometimes I feel like I have a better idea of what I think it should be sometimes.
Sure.
Because of knowing what I'm used to, and like but that's what research is supposed to do. So if I did, if I was working on Rocky Mountain, I would hope that the research would be good enough to really get a feel of like visually, what are people used to? What have they seen? What's successful in that area? Not to like copy that and like kind of dig in. So when something's local, it's like half of that's kind of already done, for you. But I don't know. Like I would love, I love like stuff like that I know, but that is one of the really fun things about graphic design, is to immerse myself in a world that I didn't know anything about before jumping in, is like kind of like the fun, like the crazy research in something that you're like, what is this called? What is this? Why is this important? Why do you care about this? So, I guess I didn't really answer, but
that's cool.
No, I love that. Yeah, that's fantastic.
What do you think? What's the dream now then? What's like moving forward? What's you kind of finally have your own studio. You got your own outlet. Like, what are things that you have a studio?
Just astudio.
Yeah. What are you dreaming about for the future?
Yeah, I think about that sometimes of like, it's still like a small, like Noah Stalkup will assist me on projects. And my sister actually helps with my clients' communication. So my sister will now, all these years later, she's going with me to Northport.
Let's go.
And helping with the meetings and stuff. But it's, I mean, that's it. Like, it's a small team. So I don't, I've thought like, well, should it be like a big team or something, or like a medium-sized team? And I don't know if I know the answer to that right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I definitely want to keep doing like physical things. So whether it be like signage or experiences or packaging, or just, I definitely want to keep doing like things that people pick up and touch and walk past and are like, subject to weather, or, like I want to keep pushing graphic design and branding in those worlds, So yeah, I guess
that's awesome. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's really cool that you get to. I mean, part of the reason that we do the podcast is just because we get to like celebrate the things that Birmingham does. And this morning I was even reflecting on this a little bit more because Joe Greer was here, who's like this running influencer guy. That he's a photographer. He's a running influencer, and the reason he had a platform to get so popular running is because he's like a very, very famous photographer, video guy. And
was he like big on Strava?
He is big on
I feel
Strava.
like maybe I've heard of this guy.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, he runs freak marathon stuff. But anyways, this guy, he's in Birmingham today. I have no idea why. He posted a story this morning of the Alabama Theater. Griffin showed it to me, and we were like trying to figure out why he was here. But anyways, we were talking about like how cool Birmingham must be to him because he has like an eye for cities, and I just feel like Birmingham's bones are just like really beautiful. And I think it's really cool how, kind of what makes Birmingham is like a culmination of like physical mediums, like a mural, or like even something silly like a beer can or whatever, or like Avondale Brewery is like part of the fabric of Birmingham, and you get to be a part of that. So I feel like it's cool too to interview you, even though like you do have a company in Birmingham, and that's like whatever, but in a way, like if you're dead and gone, you still have like a hand in like what makes Birmingham, even in that kind of way, like the bones of the city. So it's kind of cool to celebrate you in those two ways. So it's been fun.
Thanks, man. That's cool.
Chatting about it all.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we've I would love to give you an opportunity to plug anything and everything for yourself. Do you have anything to plug?
I mean, I'm getting married to Hannah Ray that you know.
Sorry for you talking about your big wedding.
Want to plug?
Let's go.
Wedding coming up. No. So, well, I mean, there's such as I guess it's suchas.ink is our website.
Come on.
And astudio.work is my website. But I don't know. Yeah, I love. Yeah, it's fun talking. I don't have a list of,
you don't have like 50 things to like tell us about right now.
Right.
Such as .ink. You have T-shirts. You got hats.
We do. Yes.
You got like super cool totes.
Thanks. Yeah, we have some totes.
I remember walking into Punch Love ages ago and seeing the Alabama.
Oh yeah.
Domino thing, or not Domino? Wait, is it Domino? What's that?
Checker.
There we go.
Checker. Yeah.
Checkerboard print being like, what is that, to Caroline Taylor, or I think Caroline Taylor, I can't remember who it was. Anyways, and she was like, oh, it's this company called Such As, you should check it out. And I've been hearing that a lot, so here's my official to you. It's called Such As. You gotta check it out. So it's awesome. You can buy that hat right there. I'm looking at his hat right now. I just looked it up on his website. 30 buckaroonies. That could be on your head. It's gonna be on my head. That's darn sure.
Just give a discount code.
Yeah, and
word
if
of
you
mouth.
use Wound Teague, it's 15% off.
Yeah, that's right. That's probably his. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yesterday's episode.
That's good.
Last week's episode. Myers, you got anything?
Nothing, man.
Nothing.
I'm just stoked to talk about design.
That's right.
As someone
Yeah.
who doesn't do
Bro-
it, but like admires it somehow.
I just,
it's
I
the
just
good
like
parts.
weird
Yeah.
old stuff.
Anything else? Anything
Let's
else from the
see
bag?
here.
Bag of
Yeah, in the
inspiration.
bag.
The inspiration. bag.
This is one of my favorite modern kind of illustrator guys.
All
Kind
right.
of.
Tom Eckersley.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yep. Keep Britain tidy.
Books. I'd like to give a shout out to Books.
Shout out to books.
Shout out to Books. Wow. Literally did a freaking Louis Armstrong poster. Yeah, this stuff's awesome. Hey, well, guys, thanks for listening. Going through all of Andrew's trinkets with us today and hearing all about how he came to be here in Birmingham. I hope
Thanks
you
for
look
talking
around.
shop.
You'll see his stuff everywhere. So, Godspeed. Thanks for listening,
It
everybody.
was fun. Thanks, Andrew.
As they say in the furniture company or furniture business, cheers.
Cheers.